What is this wooden-handled carving fork-looking thing with a bulbous knob found in World War II vet's workshop in rural Midwestern USA? My grandpa was born in 1923, and we're clearing out his workshop for his estate sale. The handle is made of lightweight wood that was painted red. The end looks like iron or steel, probably hand-forged, pronged in two, about 3 to 4 inches long. It's not very heavy, and it reminds me of a carving fork or something you'd stab a pork roast with. I think the bulb is to prevent it from going all the way into something. My grandpa was a farmer and a welder and a stone carver, and just a general fixer-upper, worked with wood and metal. Any ideas? It's a 1930s ball weeder. Stick the fork under the weed and push down on the handle. The forks go on either side of the roots at the base of the plant, and the ball is a built-in fulcrum to give a mechanical advantage when pulling tough weeds out by the root, even when the ground is soft or wet. What is this wooden object we found in the kitchen drawer of our Airbnb while looking for a lighter? It fits in my palm with some kind of metal string attachment on the side. You can twist the peg on the side to tighten the string. Any clues? It's a cheese slicer. Here's mine, and it says 1982 Bradford Woodworking on the side. It's basically a guitar string, and will stretch like guitar strings do. The wire has to be very tight to cut the cheese. What is this farm tool that looks like a small wooden ladder with a curved blade on the end, found in the northern part of Slovenia in a homestead with a vineyard? Probably some kind of farming or winemaking tool. This is roughly 70 by 30 centimeters, probably a handmade tool, and could be 40 plus years old. It's made from wood, but I have no idea which kind, and the blade is probably iron. I have searched using Google Image Reverse Search, but found nothing. Any ideas? It's a thatcher's hanging ladder that stick into the thatched roof, giving the thatcher extra reach. An advantage of these inventions is that the thatcher can move across the roof, as well as up or down it. This is useful when ridging a thatch roof in areas where the ladder doesn't reach. Thatching in Slovenia is a traditional roofing technique that has deep cultural and historical roots, especially in rural areas before the 20th century. In the mid-20th century, thatched roofs declined due to modernization, fire hazards, and the availability of industrial materials. What is this hammer-like tool I found in a collection of old tools? It's about 6 inches long, it has a wooden handle, and the sharp piece pivots on the rivet. It doesn't feel heavy enough to be useful as a hammer, and most of the other tools were carpentry tools. It was clean and well protected, as if the owner had been proud of it. Does anyone know what it's supposed to be used for? It's a tack hammer with puller. Tacks tend to be thin and short. It doesn't require much weight. You put the hook on the other side of the tack head and press it under. The flat part on the moving portion sits against the surface of the material, providing leverage to force the hook under. The flat part that's part of the handle can be levered under the tack and pulled out. It was patented on July 25, 1893, by George J. Capewell of Hartford, Connecticut. What are these small brass tools resembling a horn with a mouthpiece made of wood, found in an old science room in a Danish school? They were probably used for something back in the day, yet anyone who had last touched them is long gone now. The object is about as long as a pencil and weighs close to nothing. It has a bend at the end, and the wood piece is removable. The inside is hollow, with a hole going through the wooden mouth and exiting at the small brass closing. Any ideas? It's a mouth blowtorch. In German it's called Lothrohr. Here's an almost identical example. It used to be a goldsmith's tool, probably obsolete. It can be used to blow air in through an alcohol or petroleum flame for precision soldering or brazing of small parts. The air directs the flame and lets it burn hotter. What are these lidded buried metal tubes or pipes at a vineyard? At a family wedding in a Mudgee vineyard in Australia, a relative who has worked on farms was intrigued by this trio. Now I am too. The metal-lidded tubes or pipes are each about 30 centimeters or a foot in diameter. The nearby staff didn't know what these things were. Any idea, please? These are amphorae storage jars, used traditionally for fermentation. The use of clay fermenting vessels goes back to the origins of wine, 8,000 or more years ago in the Caucasus, in places such as Georgia, where the vessels are called quiveries, and Armenia, where they're called karasi. One reason for winemakers choosing to use amphorae is that these vessels allow micro-oxygenation through the pores of the clay, which slightly alters the wine's texture and mouthfeel. The gentle oxygen penetration through the terracotta allows for slow maturation, enhancing the density of flavors without imparting an influence like you would get from oak aging. What are these cast iron brackets on and around my home? The writing in the cast iron cannot be read, and Google Lens keeps pointing to a bottle opener, which I'm pretty sure is not. The brackets are placed on the home near the window to the telephone pole nearby. What are these intended for? These are cast iron clothesline hooks from the Midland Company of South Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The item was advertised in the May 1945 edition of Popular Mechanics. What is this old rusted-out machine found in a southern New Mexico ranch? It has a series of gears and what looks like foot pedals. It is roughly 3 feet in height, it appears to be made of iron, and there are a series of numbers that are on the machine. No Google searches have yielded anything similar. Can anyone assist? That's the chassis for an antique Johnston Harvester Company gear drive sickle bar mower from the turn of the century. This was pulled across a field, and the reciprocating motion of the blades shears the vegetation cleanly, similar to how scissors work. It gets its name from the sickle-shaped blades it uses to slice through plant material. What is this tool I found in my grandpa's workshop? I can't figure out what it's called. Around 8.5 inches long, it's blunt on the end, and very heavy. It has, I guess, the word Dickinson stamped on one side of the blade. Any ideas on what this is? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.